Welcome back, ladies and gents. Here we are in game number 3 between the little one and Socke, and the culmination of the first 2 games didn't even last 20 minutes. Unbelievably, has been very quick game 1 and 2. Hopefully game 3 is a little more lengthier and it has a little more depth to it. But either way, pretty interesting. Right now we are tied up 1-1 between the little one and Socke in this best of 5 series. You can see here this time we're on Shakur's Plateau. Spawning in the bottom left is the little one as our red Terran player, and then right over here in the bottom right we do have Socke as the blue Protoss player. Now I'm going to go a little throwback here and remind everyone of when there were destructible rocks back here on Shakur's Plateau, and I actually kind of miss that point in time when that was a additional pathway available on this particular map, because it made it, if you spawned in these positions such as the little one and Socke are spawned in now, that you did have that option of breaking down these back rocks, pulling your troops right across here, and then breaking down your opponent's back rocks. It just made another avenue into your opponent's base, and it made things, I think, a little more interesting. I know that there were some balance issues with that, and that's clearly part of the reason why they decided to get rid of it, but still, it's something that I happen to miss, just because as commentating, having that additional option there makes things a little more interesting for those games. So Socke is right now moving out with that probe scout, and he will be heading straight into the little one's base, going straight to the far lower left position, so he will be fully aware of where the little one is, but more importantly, he'll be able to go down with a little bit of harass here with his opening probe and actually force the little one to pull off a second SCV off that line just to deal with it. So you can see right now the little one preemptively moving forward with that second SCV to try to engage the probe and prevent the harass from doing much damage at all. We can see that Rax is in fact just about finished, and Socke really not able to get much off at all, actually turning around to try to engage that SCV. I know we do have that refinery is finished up and saturated. Here comes a Marine out of that initial Rax. Now back over here, SCV scout for the little one is finding Socke space as well. We can see Socke now dropping down that Cybernetics core. He does just have the one assimilator up right now. Let's keep an eye as to when that second assimilator does come down. The little one just dancing around a little bit right now, not doing a whole lot. He should be moving in for secondary scouting in a moment. He does want to check if that second gas is up or not, and that's going to give him, again, a good indication as to what Socke is planning on doing. Back over here for the little one, second depot coming on through. That first Marine is finished, second Marine coming out, and it looks like factory follow-up is what we will be seeing from the little one. So not opening up with 2 racks, heavy bio, but will be working his way on up and teching up to the higher level. Not sure if he's going to decide to go with that 1-1-1 and move right into that starport or not, or if he's going to just be deciding to get a second racks and stick with 2 racks in a factory early on. We will have to wait and see. He may possibly be even trying to go for some Hellion type build early on. So the little one moving around, he did check for that second gas. It is of course not there. We do have that Stalker being chrono boosted out, as well as that warp gate research, and the little one is heading back home right now. Now back over here, probe at that Zelnaga tower. We've got a Zealot moving forward for some early aggression. It will be up against those 3 Marines. Hopefully the little one will be able to use a little bit of micro to prevent that from doing much damage at all. We do have that SCV scout actually moving up, and he will be spotting that Zealot from behind right before he manages to sneak up into the little one's base. So now the little one knows to prepare for that, and you can see with this nice spread of Marines, it's going to be making him make it much easier to micro back the ones that are being targeted. And look at that, the Zealot does get 1 shot off of the Marine, the second shot, and almost getting that third one, but the little one with just enough DPS to prevent that from happening. We do have that Stalker moving forward and opening up with that Hellion, and then moving into an expansion. Now I'm not certain if Socke, yes, Socke did scout that, so Socke will be pulling back with this Stalker. He's in danger of that Marine fire. The Hellion is something he can take care of, but the most important thing, in all honesty, there is that Socke did spot that expansion, so now he knows what the little one is doing, and that will allow him to prepare for that. And again, it's all about scouting in this game, figuring out what your opponent's doing, and then that is going to determine what's going to be the best course of action for you yourself. So in seeing that expansion, Socke deciding, instead of, maybe getting a Robo right now, or instead of getting a Stargate or additional gateways, he decided to first go right away for that Nexus, and then he will be dropping down the robotics, getting that Observer, and then using that for continuous scouting against the little one. So yes, very, very nice indeed there by Socke, fully aware as to what the little one is planning to do. Now it looks like we may be seeing a push of just Marine Hellion at some point in the not too distant future. I was actually checking around for a starport, but it doesn't look like the little one has moved into that quite as of yet. Obviously delayed by that quick expansion, as well as coming out with that secondary racks there. Now we do have that Socke moving forward, and we're going to be engaging with some zealots there. The little one doing what he can. Now with some proper micro, Socke should be able to head back home, and as long as he just target fires down those Hellions, the little one is in danger of losing those. He actually needs to be very careful, because unfortunately those Hellions don't do a lot of damage to the Stalkers at all. We'd have Socke pulling back with this one injured Stalker right now. Hellions trying to do what they can, getting a little bit of extra damage while those Marines continue to chase, and oh my gosh, Socke is going to get away with those Stalkers being faster than those Marines, and since those Hellions are now out of the picture, Socke has no problem retreating back home. So the little one, valiant effort, but unfortunately in losing those Hellions wasn't able to actually take down the Stalkers. However, he did get incredibly close, not able to actually drop them. So back over here for the little one, that expansion is up, going to be getting that saturated right now, finally working his way up into that starport, also getting some attachments here on those racks that should be starting those upgrades, and possibly pumping out some Marauders here as well. So once he gets that starport in play, I do expect a medevac. Very important to note here, we do have a Ghost Academy. Didn't even realize that that was in production. So we do have at least one Ghost coming out, maybe seeing a second Ghost there as well, but going for this quick Ghost for some nice EMP action, going to be very effective against that Protoss opponent. We do have that Observer Scout moving through, so Socke will be scouting out, and it looks like he will be catching that Ghost Academy, so he will be aware of the fact that Ghosts are coming into play. And now what this is going to allow him to do is, once that engagement does come, Socke, aware of the Ghost in play, will make sure that he spreads out his forces to try to avoid as much damage as possible from the EMPs that will be laid down. Some more Stalkers getting warped in. We do have the Stim Pack coming out as well for the little one, coming out with 2 additional gateways. Actually, there's a third right there as well. So we'll be sitting on a total of 5 gateways. That robotics facility is up. Got some Stalkers here in the back to try to deal with any possible drops that the little one may be attempting to do. And it looks like, oh, we did manage to get rid of 2 of those Hellions. There were a total of 3 Hellions camped out front, and with some nice force fields pinning them in place, Socke did manage to take those out. Looks like we do have a small push moving across the middle. I'm not sure if he's just trying to get control of those Xel'Naga towers, or if he intends on moving forward to be aggressive. If he is moving forward to be aggressive, I almost expect a probe to come down with the proxy pylon, but it doesn't look like that is the case. Socke just will be testing the waters right now. He will be taking advantage of that speed advantage with those Stalkers, and there we go. Observer spotting the high ground, going to allow those Stalkers to shoot right up there. Sentry dropping some force fields as well to help. Unfortunately, without that Stim Pack finish right now, the little one's having a hard time, but there's a nice EMP for the little one, getting rid of all of those shields of Socke's units, and Socke will be forced to push back right now. He's actually in a very dangerous position because he cannot drop any force fields, and those Hellions managing to sneak up and take out those sentries. Almost getting that last one right there as well. You can see how low in HP that sentry is. But pulling back with the Stalkers, Socke providing himself a little buffer. Needs to be careful, though. The Hellion managed to take out that sentry. Very nice there by the little one. So the little one in a better position right now. Let's take a look here at those units lost tab. And actually, it looks like overall the little one has lost more. Interestingly enough, he did a great job of pushing back that aggression there from Socke, but overall he ended up losing more. We do have a quick third expansion come out from the little one. Do keep in mind we've got a drop over here. It looks like that will be 2 Marines and 3 Marauders, and that will be timed perfectly for that Stim Pack finishing. Concussive Shell still isn't in, but he might be able to do a little bit of damage. We got those 2 Stalkers right there. They are low in health, though, and those are going to get dropped very quickly by those Marauders. Couple Marines there as well. Are we going to see Stim Pack engaged or not? No, in fact, holding off on activating that Stim Pack, pulling back with those 3 Marauders, and they're going to be dropping on the low ground. Now, he can use the medevac to gain vision to the high ground and possibly even just take out that pylon and get a few free kills there from those Zealots, depending on how quick Socke is able to respond to that. Now, we do have an Observer Scout sitting out front that's going to see any push from the little one that does move across the middle. Again, though, keep in mind, the little one is moving himself into the third. Now, is this something that Socke is aware of? Oh, wow, I didn't even see that there. So, yes, the Observer right there, fully aware of the fact that the little one is going to be moving into a third, and it looks like it's actually going to be another orbital. That could certainly be a mistake with that orbital command. So far away from that main and natural, will be difficult for the little one to actually defend there. So, we do have a few more medevacs coming on through, and here comes a drop right now. Will be a total of 3 medevacs, pulling the one that is injured all the way to the back, and what is, there we go, finally dropping the little one. A little delayed there, must have been distracted. There's an EMP going down on those Stalkers. The medevac's almost all gone right now, forced to lift up with what he does have. We've got Colossus in play, not sure he's got enough though, getting mopped up with those Zealots plus those Colossus, and the little one's drop getting taken care of there quite handedly by Socke. Two Marauders and SCV moving on down. We'll be checking out this third, and actually, no, it looks like they are pulling back momentarily. We do have that third expansion over here for Socke. So again, Socke scouting out the third that's coming from the little one. It informed him to come out with that third himself. And again, I'm just reiterating the fact that scouting is so important, and these are the decisions. The decisions that you make are going to be so determinant on what your opponent is doing. At least they should be if you want to do well in StarCraft 2. Now we've got a push coming out right now for Socke. Keep in mind, he does have a few Colossus in play. Looks like he is sitting on a total of 3 right now, 2 with the main force. We've got that third one situated back at home. There it is. So hopefully Socke moves on down with that as well. Now this is a great opportunity right now for Socke. He could delay the little one, keeping him in his main a little bit, and then push right on that third. But here we go, walking right into that natural expansion. We'll be trying to engage it head on. There's a big EMP that went down on all of those Zealots as well as those Stalkers. Those Colossus need to try to stay away from that Viking fire right there. We'll be using that anti-air to take him out, and the Zealots forced to push back. We saw a mass engagement there with those SCVs, and actually it looks like Socke will just be retreating and moving right up onto that attempted third here for the little one. So scouting that third was not dropped in this position. It looks like he will be aware that it's up here, but what is he doing? He's actually not moving forward to engage it. We'll be just moving with that one Zealot now. Any dropping or anything going on? Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like the little one has moved out with any counter aggression. He's got a couple of Vikings moving across the map to try to catch those Colossus out of position. Had a great opportunity, but a few Stalkers being warped in was enough to push it back. Stimmed up, going to be taking out that pylon right there. And it looks like, in fact, Socke will be moving back, but just one Zealot managing to spot that expansion. Going to force a lift off. Unfortunately for the little one, he's got no mining going on. Now there we go, the little one moving out with that SCV scout. Did scout out Socke's expansion, so now the little one is aware that that's happening, and he will, as such, be able to respond. But Socke actually looking to be in a relatively good position. It looks like overall the little one is behind right now. I want to take a look, see if the little one lost many workers. Looks like he did lose a few workers in that defense that we saw over here when he was forced to pull down with some of those SCVs to try to defend his front. So that is certainly going to help Socke indeed. Let's take a look at the resource gathering going on. It looks like Socke is a little bit ahead in terms of SP and gas being gathered. Unfortunately, in minerals, Socke is behind. That is probably due, of course, to the fact that the little one does have those mules, yielding that extra resource, that extra mineral gathering. Socke's gonna be pushing up against these destructible rocks. Again, the little one has dropped that expansion over here, so as soon as he breaks through that, he's gonna be able to walk right up on that. We do have an engagement about to take place over here. We do have actually a missile turret coming down as well for the little one, moving forward with those Vikings, trying to snipe down that Colossus. Actually getting that one dangerously low. We got some stimmed up Marauders right now. Very heavy Marauder force. There's the scan going down, and TLO feeling comfortable to engage. Drops an EMP right on the bulk of the force right there, and let's see if he's got enough fire to actually take this out. Looks like the ground forces, unfortunately for the little one, do get mopped up there, and Socke, sitting with a strong ground force, should be pushing out right now, or at least sometime very, very soon. He is moving up with those Zealots into the little one's third, so again, the little one will be forced to lift off, and that is a very bad position for him indeed. Right now, Socke will be sitting at a very strong economic advantage once she kills off those mules and forces the lift off of this orbital. So Socke, very, very strong position. He will be pushing out against the little one. The little one attempted to come out with that third right there. That is actually very dangerous because, as we can see, all of Socke's forces right here should have no problem just sniping that down very quickly. And there you go. SCV is down. Now we're going to be trying to engage with that heavy Marauder force. Vikings moving forward, sniping down that Colossus very quickly. However, at what loss? He did just lose all of those Vikings. We'll be trying to take out that last Colossus, but no managing to protect that. Now here's that Marauder heavy force stimmed up. Going to force Socke to push back right now. It looks like that expansion was destroyed. Unfortunately, the little one not lifting that off, not paying enough attention, and forced to call the GG. The little one opened up the game with Marine Hellion and then moved into an expansion. Socke, managing to sneak a probe inside of the main, was able to spot the little one's expansion. As a result, we then saw Socke move into his natural off of just one gateway. The little one used 3 Hellions to spot the front of Socke's base. Unfortunately, though, pushing out, Socke was able to drop some force fields and kill off 2 of those 3. We saw some aggression early on from Socke, using the Observer to gain vision of the high ground, let his Stalkers shoot up from the low ground, and was able to force field in and do a bit of damage to the little one. However, eventually the little one was able to push out with that nicely landed EMP and force Socke back home. The little one attempted some drop harass, however that was quickly dealt with by Socke. Unfortunately, the little one didn't manage to get off his stim pack and was forced to lift off with additional warping of Zealots here, threatening to kill off that medevac. The little one followed up with a second drop. However, by this point, Socke had a few Colossus in play, and even with landing that EMP, it was not enough once his Colossus came through with the engagement and some additional warped in Zealots. After defending against the little one's drop, we did see Socke push out with a very heavy Zealot force plus those Colossus. The little one is barely able to defend himself due to this mass repair here and all of these SCVs helping the engagement. However, although Socke was pushed back, he then just pulled back until the little one's third and was able to disrupt that. A lone Zealot from Socke was able to force a liftoff of the little one's expansion, and upon spotting this, Socke also moved down with a few other units, such as Stalkers, to try to do a bit of damage. At 16:30, we had our first large engagement between the two in the middle of the map. A nice spread plus that Guardian Shield was enough for Socke to be able to defend himself, plus these warping of Zealots. Unfortunately, the little one just did not have enough ground forces to be able to overcome what Socke had. At the same time as that large engagement in the middle, we did see Socke spot the little one's moved expansion, and with the few Zealots that he had, was able to move in, kill off all of the mules and SCVs, and then destroy the expansion itself. Socke then pushed out for the final engagement, killed off everything the little one had, and forced the GG. Alright guys, that was game number 3 here in this best of 5 series, but we'll be moving on to game number 4 in just one moment. Right now, Socke is ahead 2-1 against the little one. Stay tuned for game 3. As always guys, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.